I guess what I'll show you now is, let's do some colorways. And the reason you do colorways, first of all, if it's for like a t-shirt or something like that, you've always got a black shirt and a white shirt, and maybe you have a gray shirt, a blue shirt, a red shirt, and you want those colors to look good on all the different color shirts. And the other reason is, if it's a corporate logo, sometimes you need to print that corporate logo on white, and sometimes you need to print it on black, and you just want to make sure it looks good on any possible combination. And I haven't really thought too much about color or worried about whether the file is CMYK or RGB or anything like that yet. And I'll go ahead and select that, Command C, and I'm just going to create a new document. And let's do this one for web RGB, and I'll hit OK. I just pasted that in there. So let me show you what we've got here. Basically, we have on top, we have the little shading layer that we made. We also have the blue type, and actually we still have that transparent blend shape. Let me delete that. And on the bottom we have our shadow that sort of looks like a mess just because we haven't deleted these little spaces that are underneath the blue type. And then we have our little logos word that's separate. So one thing, just to clean this up a little more, right now I'll just select the blue lettering, make a copy of that, paste it right in front of the black shadow, and then let's hit merge, and let me isolate that. Just select the black, select inverse, and that's going to take everything that's not black and delete it. So now when we break apart this file, we've got shading, we've got blue type, and then we've got this nice clean shadow, and then we've got our little logos word right here. So now we can have fun with color, and I'm thinking about a few different little layouts, and I like how this is sort of in a nice kind of compact shape. So what I might do is try it with, I don't know, like a circle background. Let's go with kind of a gray background on that. So you can still see the nice 3D shadow that we made. I also like it actually without that 3D. Change this back to black. And there are absolutely infinite combinations that we can do with this. It can just be by itself like that too. And the nice thing about how we've merged everything and separated it into colors is it'll be super easy to do colorways. And this also works really well with t-shirt design, because if you think about t-shirt design, typically it's screen printing, and you have separate screens, and you change out, you know, let's say this is a 3-color graphic, you change out each color. So we can make that a yellow, make it all bright. We want that shading that we made to be a tonal color of our yellow. When I make tonal colors, I like to go to the HSB, the Hue Saturation Black slider, and then you can just add maybe a little bit of black to it. Or that could go sort of more orange and still look good. And we'll just see what these colors look like. Applied to our different layouts. And you know, maybe like this background circle is actually like a dark brown. It's kind of nice. Now, on a light background, that's not going to work. So let's just pretend this is on a dark background. And all of a sudden it looks good. I really like that brown actually. It's pretty nice. And we can go through and just do combinations after combinations. But I think the key with doing colorways is you still want to retain the readability. And the best test for that is just to kind of squint your eyes, and if you can read it, then it's probably good. Let's try another one. I don't know, we could do orange. So I got orangish red. And again, we'll just sample that same orange and add a little black to it. You know, we could try different things like pop that logos word to the background color. You know, we could change this to a brown. That'll look really nice. So that's kind of the concept for colorways. There's just infinite combinations. And just pay attention to, if you ever had a color theory class, just pay attention to a color wheel and what are complementary colors and all that kind of stuff. So I'll give you this file too. You can go in there, play around with it. And the next thing I want to show you is how to add texture or distress. When I add texture or distress in Illustrator, I usually do it with bitmap TIFF files, and I'll show you about that. And when I do texture or distress in Photoshop, I do it a different way. I usually do it with Photoshop brushes, and we'll get into that in a second.